Hey everyone, welcome. Get comfortable, and let's get into tonight's Reddit stories. Imagine your partner comes home from deployment. You both test positive for an STI, and you know with absolute certainty you didn't cheat. Now he's calm, loving, talking about your future, and swearing he didn't cheat either. What do you even do when the facts don't match the story you're being told? Boyfriend tested positive for chlamydia and denies cheating. I didn't cheat. How do I get him to admit he cheated? My boyfriend and I have been together for a little over 2 years. He's in the military, and before anyone jumps in with all military men cheat, I'm really not trying to hear that right now. On February 5th, he told me he tested positive for chlamydia. He was very calm about it. I work from home, and he came into my office and said, "I need to talk to you when you have a second." I finished what I was doing and went to talk to him. He said, "So you know how I got tested today?" "Well, I tested positive for chlamydia. Did you sleep with anyone while I was away?" I was shocked. I said, "Oh wow, oh my God, you tested positive, how? No, I did not sleep with or kiss anyone while you were away." "Did you sleep with anyone?" "Because I know for a fact, I didn't." He said, "No, I would never sleep with anyone. I was deployed and working the entire time. I barely had time for myself." So now I'm sitting there thinking, then how is this possible? I told him I'd go get tested immediately, hoping maybe it was a false positive. I left work early and got tested. 2 days later, my results came back, positive. I have chlamydia. I'm in shock. I'm crying. I'm overthinking. I'm trying to find any possible loophole, any explanation for how this could happen. But the truth is, there is no way this happens without one of us cheating. Here's the timeline. He was gone from September 2025 to December 13th, 2025. I got an IUD on November 20th and had STI testing done that same day. Everything came back negative. So the only window where I could have supposedly hooked up with someone else was the 3 weeks between that test and when he came home. But during that time, I was visiting my parents for Thanksgiving. When I came home the week of December 8th, I was working and getting ready for his arrival. I learned how to make butter chicken for the first time for him, made a welcome home sign, cleaned the whole apartment. I was so excited. He came home, and obviously we had sex, a lot. Everything seemed great until December 29th, when he said he could feel my IUD poking him. The doctor had told me that was normal, but then he said his penis was swollen and hurting a little. That was weird, so I messaged my doctor. I told the doctor he was having irritation after intercourse, discomfort, itching, and that he felt a poking sensation. I asked if it could be related to my IUD. The doctor's response was basically, "The poking sensation is likely from the IUD strings, but the irritation and discomfort are probably not related." At the time, I didn't think much of it. But now, typing this out, that was a very clear sign of chlamydia. I got my IUD removed, not because of him, but for other medical reasons, and switched to Nexplanon. He didn't mention any more irritation, and I didn't have symptoms, so I didn't even consider cheating back then. Now we're here. Both of us tested positive, and I'm losing my mind. I've researched. I talked to my doctor. Every single explanation leads back to the same conclusion. He had sex with someone else. I told him this. I said, "Please just tell me the truth. I won't be mad. I just want honesty." He said, "I'm telling you the truth. You're the only person I've had sex with in this relationship." That phrasing didn't hit me until later. He's the type of person who avoids lying by being technically truthful. Saying in this relationship instead of in general is suspicious. I don't know, just a random thought. He left yesterday for training. He's supposed to come back Friday, but he could deploy again at any moment. So now I'm home alone with all of this. He keeps saying we can go to the doctor together and ask how this is possible if neither of us cheated. And part of me thinks, if he's willing to go to the doctor, maybe he's not lying. But realistically, he's just clinging to confusion because it's safer than admitting the truth. I know he's lying because I know I didn't cheat. But he won't admit it. I don't know how to get the truth out of him. I just want him to say it so I can stop spiraling. He's acting completely normal. He's talking about our future, being loving with me, and this is all normal. We've always been loving and talked about our future and goals. But all of this is making me feel insane. My heart hurts. I'm confused. And now that he's gone, I can finally think clearly without his actions convincing me we're okay. I'm planning to start packing my things and move back in with my parents. But I feel like I need him to just say he cheated so I can feel some kind of closure. I don't know what to do. Redditors focused more on his behavior than on his words. One of the main points people made was that his tell is how quickly he slipped back into acting totally normal and loving. A lot of them said that if he genuinely believed she was the one who cheated, he'd be hurt, distant, or at least struggling emotionally. The fact that he isn't acting like someone who feels betrayed suggests he already knows exactly how this happened. A lot of people also push back on her need for a verbal confession. They said closure doesn't come from getting him to finally say, "I cheated." It comes from accepting what the medical facts and the timeline already show. That he cheated, and that he's willing to lie and keep lying rather than own up to it. From their perspective, that's all the information she really needs to make decisions. And the recurring advice was blunt. You don't get someone to admit something they're determined to deny. You stop trying to extract the truth from them, and you move on with your life. Whether he ever admits it or not doesn't change what happened or what she has to do next. What do you think about this situation? Is it worth staying until you get a clear admission, or is the combination of the test results and his behavior already enough to walk away? Let me know how you'd handle this in the comments, and if you've ever been in a similar spot where the facts didn't match what your partner was telling you. Imagine spending months planning your dream wedding, and then walking into your wedding night hotel room completely alone, while your brand new spouse is out partying until dawn. What do you even do with that kind of hurt? And how are you supposed to move forward from it? My husband left me on our wedding night. We've been married for 3 months now, and I'm still trying to process something that happened on our wedding night. After the celebration, we had planned to spend our first night together in a room we had booked. Instead, my husband, who's 29, chose to leave and spend the evening with his friends. I'm 28, and I ended up going into the hotel alone. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but that night turned into one of the loneliest moments I've ever had. I was deeply hurt and completely devastated. We talked about it afterward. I love him very much, and because of that love, I decided to give him another chance. I really want our marriage to work. I want to move forward. But when I think back to that night, there's still this quiet ache in my chest. I keep replaying it in my head, and every time I do, I feel this small but sharp pain. I'm really trying to forgive him. I am, but sometimes I feel emotionally numb, and I can't tell if I'm still hurting, if I've just pushed it down, or if I haven't really let myself grieve what happened. What makes it even harder is that his family and friends didn't see anything wrong with what he did. To them, it wasn't a big deal at all. But to me, it was incredibly personal. I love my husband. I don't want resentment to grow in my heart. But I'm scared that I don't actually know how to fully move past this. How do you heal from something like this? Edit. The after party wasn't something we planned ahead of time. They only decided to have it right after our wedding reception. Our wedding venue closed at 10 p.m., so I was expecting to go rest with him after that. But they decided to have an after party because his friends felt like the wedding ended too early. That's when they found another place to keep drinking. And the plan was to stay there until around 5 in the morning. I got to the hotel around 11 p.m., and that's when it really hit me that I was alone. Everything just sank in at that moment. A lot of people in the comments are focused on one big missing piece. What did her husband actually say about this afterward? They want to know if he apologized, if he understood how badly he hurt her, or if he just brushed it off the same way his family and friends seem to. Many commenters are calling this a massive red flag. They're pointing out that, of all nights, your wedding night is the one time your partner should be choosing you without hesitation. For him to leave her alone in the hotel so he could keep partying with his friends has some people saying they wouldn't be able to look at their spouse the same way again. Others are sharing their own experiences. One person talks about an ex-husband who spent their wedding night getting completely drunk and throwing up with his friends, and how that pattern never really stopped. He kept choosing his friends over his wife throughout the whole marriage. Commenters are using stories like that to warn that this kind of behavior can be a sign of deeper priorities. That on a night when she should have been his main focus, he seemed more worried about not missing out on the party. What do you think about this situation? Is leaving your new spouse alone on your wedding night something you can move past with an apology in time? Or is it a sign of how the rest of the marriage might look? Let me know your thoughts and what you'd do in her place. And if you've ever had a similar experience, feel free to share your story in the comments. Imagine getting all dressed up, paying for a long Uber ride in the rain, standing outside your partner's place, calling and banging on the door, and they just never answer. And this isn't even the first time it's happened. What would you do? My boyfriend fell asleep on me, and I don't know how to feel. Am I being sensitive? I've been seeing this guy, he's 35, for about 4 months now. I'm 27. He invited me over, so I grabbed an Uber to his place. As soon as he sent me the address, I sent him my arrival time, literally like 3 minutes later. I got there about 45 minutes after that, around 8 p.m. And I'm pretty sure he just fell asleep. I called him a bunch of times. I was knocking and banging on the door, and nothing. No answer at all. I was just standing out there in the rain for ages, trying to get through to him. And this isn't even the first time something like this has happened. He's done this before, when he fell asleep in a hotel room, and I only got in because the concierge gave me a key, even though my name wasn't on the booking. This time, I ended up having to order another Uber back home, and the whole night turned into something really expensive. He knows I'm strapped for cash, so that just made it feel even worse. And this wasn't some last-minute plan either. He'd set this up a few days ago. I was really excited to spend the next couple of days with him, and instead, I'm coming back home feeling angry and embarrassed. It's been 3 hours since all that happened, and I still haven't heard from him. He is a pretty deep sleeper and sometimes doesn't even wake up when I shake him. I was so upset I ended up crying on the street, and I'm still feeling really low about it now. I know I can be oversensitive, but honestly, I feel like I could end the relationship over this. Any advice? Edit. It's been just over 5 hours now, and I've still heard nothing. I tried calling one more time, and it went straight to voicemail again. Now I'm starting to get anxious that something's happened to him because I just can't imagine passing out for 5 hours like that. Edit 2. He's called me 20 times between 3 in the morning and 10 in the morning. It's 12:30 now. He hasn't messaged me or said anything, just the calls. I haven't answered any of them. I'm too anxious and hurt to talk to him right now. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I'm not going to respond until tomorrow. I've got stuff and meetings to get through, and I don't want to make my mood worse. I will be ending the relationship. It just sucks, because we have a lot of history and I've known him a really long time. We just recently introduced each other to our parents and everything. This sucks. But thank you all so much for your responses. I really felt so alone last night, and your insights have helped me a lot. My friends and people close to me are a bit more sympathetic toward him, because I guess it seems wildly out of character to them, so getting advice on here has been super helpful. Edit 3. I messaged him yesterday evening saying I'm still processing my emotions and will call him today. He read it this morning and didn't respond, and now he's ignoring my calls. I tried calling him 3 times today. What the actual fuck? Do I just ghost? I'm absolutely baffled. The top comments were not gentle with this guy. A lot of people pointed out that once might be a freak accident, but this has now happened more than once, and that's not something they'd ever accept in a relationship. Several commenters questioned what's really going on with him. Does he abuse alcohol, sleeping pills, or have some kind of extreme work schedule? Because falling asleep so hard that you miss calls, banging on the door, and then being out for 5 hours straight sounds less like a quick nap and more like passing out. Many people emphasized his age. He's 35, not a teenager. They said that at his age, if you've invited someone over, especially someone who's spending money they don't really have, you stay awake, you take a shower, you keep yourself busy until they arrive. The fact that he let this happen again, knowing her financial situation and after planning days in advance, came across to commenters as incredibly disrespectful and inconsiderate. One highly upvoted take was that he probably didn't just sleep, he passed out, and if that's because of alcohol or substances, OP needs to think very carefully about whether she wants to sign up for a relationship with someone who has that kind of issue. A lot of people said they would have blocked him after this happening even once, especially so early in dating. What do you think about this situation? Is ending the relationship the right move after being stood up like this twice? Or would you give someone like this another chance if they had a good explanation? Let me know how you'd handle it in the comments, and if you've ever had something similar happen to you. Imagine checking your account and realizing your entire month's rent is gone, and the person who spent it is standing right in front of you, telling you it's not a big deal. What are you even supposed to do with that? My girlfriend used my phone to buy an €820 bag without asking. I'm considering whether I should end our 8-month relationship. I really just need to vent about this. I've been dating this girl for 8 months. Last Tuesday, I checked my Ubit balance and saw that €820 were just gone. I keep USDC in my wallet and use it through the app for everyday stuff. So I pulled up the transaction history, and there's this charge from some boutique in Chiato. I never shopped there, so I knew something was off. I asked my girlfriend if she knew anything about it. She got defensive right away, then finally admitted she'd used my phone to pay for a Prada bag while I was in the shower. She didn't ask, didn't tell me afterward. Nothing. She just took my phone and paid. She knows my passcode because I trusted her, which clearly was a mistake. When I said that what she did is theft, she completely flipped out. She told me I was being dramatic, that it's just crypto, and that I have so much just sitting there. That bag is literally my rent for the month. And now she's acting like I'm the bad guy for being upset. Her argument is that we talk about a future together, so what's mine is hers. I told her that's not how it works without permission. Maybe if we get married someday, we combine finances, but that only happens because both people sit down and agree to it. And where it gets absolutely ridiculous is when one of her friends said, "Real men buy their girlfriends bags." Like, what the hell? It's not that I'm against buying her things, but she literally stole from me. Stealing is stealing. I don't know, but this is a massive red flag. Reddit did not hold back on this one. The top commenter basically rewrote the whole situation as a new title. "My girlfriend stole 820 euros from me. Should I report her to the police before I break up with her?" Their point was that this isn't some small misunderstanding or normal relationship argument. It's straight-up theft, and it should be treated that way. Another highly upvoted comment told OP to take immediate practical steps. Call the store and try to cancel the transaction or get a chargeback. Lock everything down, change passwords, and even think about freezing his credit. They also suggested going through his entire purchase history, because people rarely start stealing with one big 820 euro purchase. There might be smaller test charges she made earlier just to see if he'd notice. And one married commenter added that even in a fully committed marriage, they would never touch their spouse's wallet or spend hundreds without asking, let alone over 800. For them, that alone showed just how far over the line this behavior was. What do you think about this situation? Is this an instant deal breaker or something that could be worked through with boundaries and apologies? If you were in OP's shoes, what would you do next? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy these stories, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.